Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Looks like we have a good crowd tonight. Thank you so much for coming today. If your neighbor is talking, just let them know that we're about to start this program, all right? I'm JJ Frank. I am a board member of the best Marysville Tulalip Chamber in Snohomish County. Did I say the best? Woo! Because it is true. We were voted the best chamber in Snohomish County, and just very proud about that. I'm also the executive director of the Marysville YMCA. I see Mel Sheldon out there. And so before this time, I just want to make sure we honor the grounds that we are. So if you are speaking, please just take a time to be silent so we can give respect to Tulalip tribes. It's important, and it's our responsibility to acknowledge the grounds on which we are privileged to gather on. So at this time, I'd like to do a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the original inhabitants of this area, the Snohomish people, and their successors, the Tulalip tribes. Since time immemorial, they have hunted, fished, gathered, and taken care of these lands. We respect their sovereignty, their right to self-determination, and honor their sacred spiritual connection with the land and water. We will strive to be honest about our past mistakes and bring about a future that includes their people, stories, and voices to form a more just and equitable society. So thank you. We really appreciate our relationship to Tulalip tribes. Thank you, Mel, and to all the boards. I think Marilyn's out there. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce, I believe, the best CEO of any chamber in Snohomish County. Let's give Yvonne a hand while she comes at this time.
Can we give JJ another round of applause, please? So like JJ said, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Yvonne Sepulveda. I'm the Greater Marysville Tulalip Chamber of Commerce President CEO. Thank you all for being here this morning. I'd like to introduce all our elected officials that are here with us today. If you can please wave your hand, and then we will hold applause till the very end. We have Mayor John Nehring, Councilmember Mark James, Councilmember Camille Norton, and Councilmember Peter Condilius. We also have, representing Tulalip tribes, we have Representative Mel Sheldon. And we also have Marilyn Sheldon representing charitable contributions. Can we give them all a round of applause? Snohomish County elected officials. This morning, of course, we have our guest speaker, Nate Nehring, and Sid Logan. Can we give them a round of applause? Now I'd like to introduce all our chamber board members that are here. If, again, you can please wave and hold your applauses till the very end. We have Renee James, JJ Frank, Michelle Hernandez, Connie Meny, Tracy Gouldsby, Kevin Daniels, Felicia Kreider, Sharon Gomez Pascual, Kat Soper, Scott Peterson, Sam Samano, and Vance Titus. Can we give them all a round of applause? And then if I missed any elected officials, can you please wave your hands if I missed anybody? Awesome. Today I'd like to introduce our business before our sponsor, Skagit Regional Health. If you can please help me welcome Dr. Ryan Valinga to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for allowing us to be here. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to share a little bit about Skagit Regional Health. I think as soon as our slides come up. Well, while they're getting those, oh, there we go, over there. So we're Skagit Regional Health. I'm Dr. Ryan Valinga. I do orthopedic surgery in the area. Skagit Regional Health Well, I guess just a little about me first. I grew up in Utah, and then I drug my wife, who's from Edmonds, Washington, all across the country. We went to New York, Pennsylvania, then over to Los Angeles before we finally came home. Brought her home and to Washington, and we loved it. We've lived here now almost 4 years, and just love living in this area, love the community, and just so grateful to be here. I specialize in sports medicine and complex reconstructive surgery, particularly of the shoulder. And it's been great to work and serve the people of this community. So Skagit Regional Health is a hospital or a healthcare system comprising of 2 inpatient hospitals and outpatient clinics throughout Snohomish and Skagit counties. Our 2 hospitals are Cascade Valley Hospital here in Arlington, and then Skagit Valley Hospital up in Mount Vernon. Between the 2, we see over, at least in 2022, we saw over 55,000 visits for the ER. So for the size of our hospitals, actually see quite a few visits. In those hospitals, we also perform all of our surgeries and take care of all our inpatient patients. And it's been a great relationship that we have with the community here. Our Skagit Valley Hospital is a level 3 trauma center, and our Cascade Valley Hospital is a level 4 trauma center. Our outpatient clinics range from Anacortes over to Darrington, down to Granite Falls, and here in Smoky Point. And we have both primary care and subspecialty care throughout our 2 counties. And what I really wanted to highlight today is one thing about us is we're a non-for-profit hospital system or healthcare system. And sometimes, at least when I was coming up through my training, I always assumed that non-for-profit meant you had no money to do innovative things, and you're always going to be the last one to do it. But that's not the way that it is. So I just want to highlight some things in orthopedic surgery that we are doing in the community that is as state-of-the-art as it comes. So a few things that we're doing, me particularly in my practice. We are one of the first hospitals who are using a newly FDA-approved device called the InSpace balloon spacer for shoulders. These are for patients who have an irreparable rotator cuff tear, which normally is treated with nothing, injections, and say live with it, or a shoulder replacement where you're removing bone permanently and putting in a shoulder replacement. And it's kind of an overkill surgery, although it works very well. It's irreplaceable. Once you have metal and plastic in your shoulder, you'll always have metal and plastic in your shoulder. So this new device substitutes the function or tries to perform a bit of the function that the rotator cuff that's not there anymore used to do by creating space between your arm bone, your humerus, and your shoulder blade bone up above it to allow people to get that range of motion without pain. And it's just a little balloon filled with saline that stays in there temporarily and trains all your other muscles to work without the rotator cuff. So it got FDA approved last year, and we worked really hard with our hospital to get it implemented into our hospital. So now it's something we offer to the community that, frankly, we're one of the only hospitals in Western Washington. They're doing a few in Eastern Washington. I was able to do the second one in the state, and it's really new technology, and so far the patients I've done it with have been very happy with it. So we're excited about that. For those patients who go on to need a shoulder replacement, either for arthritis or other problems in the shoulder, we're also using the latest technology in 3D planning. So we can get a CT scan of somebody's shoulder and get a 3D model, as you see on the top right picture there, where we can make a 3D model of their shoulder blade and understand the deformity that's in their shoulder, and we can actually plan the surgery out digitally first and then make 3D printed guides specific to that patient so that in the surgery I can put that implant literally precisely where I planned it based on their deformity. We can use augmented or customized implants to really have the most precise surgery possible, which should improve the functional outcome and both the longevity of that shoulder replacement implant. We also have recently just partnered with a company to implement fully robotic navigated hip and knee replacements, and that'll be rolling out this year. And bottom left picture there shows our cartilage restoration surgeries that we're doing. Me as a sports medicine surgeon, we try to do joint preservation before it goes on to replacement. And for people with cartilage lesions in their knee, isolated cartilage lesions, before it was like, well, you got to live with that until you're old enough for a knee replacement, then you get a knee replacement. Well, now we can actually go in and biopsy good cartilage, send it to a lab who grows new cartilage cells on a membrane that we can go in and carve out the bad cartilage and implant new cartilage cells into that spot, and it'll actually grow new cartilage in. So it's one of the only true cartilage restoration surgeries that we have. And it's something that we offer both our hospitals. In fact, we try really hard. My first patient I did it on was a 15-year-old kid who had a horrible injury in his knee. He was a multi-sport, high-level athlete, even in his young age, and had a horrible injury to his knee. And he had a kneecap that was, like an 80-year-old's, totally thrashed, 2/3 of his cartilage totally missing. And the worst part is, sadly for him, he had Medicaid insurance. He had state insurance, and they said they would never cover this surgery because the graft that you grow is a $50,000 graft. And so we actually battled with them, say, hey, this is the right treatment for this patient. I had multiple phone calls and letters. They approved it. We did the surgery. 4 months after surgery, he sent me a video of him doing a backflip in his bedroom. I'm like, oh, my gosh. Anyway, so, right? Yeah, I'm like, no, don't do that. But we love doing this kind of thing. We love serving our community, and I love being part of a system where we can work hard to bring the latest and greatest to our patients in this community. So we're just so thankful to be here, thankful to work with everybody, both businesses, other healthcare systems, to try to just take good care of people. We love focusing on the patient experience, and we want to provide the highest level of care, and we feel like everyone in our community needs to know they don't have to go all the way south or far north to get good care. We're right here. So thank you so much for your time. Hope we can connect with us and just appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
And if you have questions about that, Tess will be at her table after the presentation, so stop by and ask lots of questions. Can we give Dr. Ryan Valinga another round of applause, please? And then we do have one sponsorship left for the remainder of the year, so if you're interested in that, please reach out to Sarah or I and let us know ASAP. Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Nate Nehring, the Vice Chair of the Snohomish County Council. He represents North Snohomish County, including the cities of Marysville, Arlington, Stanwood, Granite Falls, and Darrington. His priorities include fiscal responsibility, public safety, and growing jobs in Snohomish County. Councilmember Nehring is a strong advocate of bipartisanship and working across the aisle to get things done for Snohomish County residents. Nate and his wife, Savannah, were both born and raised in Marysville, and they are currently living in Arlington, where they are raising their family. Please help me welcome Nate Nehring to the stage.
Well, thank you, Yvonne. Appreciate it. How's everybody doing this morning? Good. Well, before I get started, I just want to acknowledge Yvonne. I go and speak to a lot of different chambers of commerce, and I've just been so impressed with Yvonne's leadership and the whole chamber board. I think this chamber is second to none, and I don't say that at every chamber I speak at. And so let's just give Yvonne a round of applause. Well, I really appreciate the opportunity to come and give an update on Snohomish County government. I love getting out into the community and getting to speak with groups like this about what's happening at Snohomish County and get to hear feedback from you and answer hopefully any questions you might have. We'll make sure to leave some time at the end for that. As Yvonne mentioned, I am on the Snohomish County Council. So for those who don't know me, I represent District 1, which is the northern part of Snohomish County. So that includes the cities of Marysville, Arlington, Stanwood, Granite Falls, and Darrington. I joined the council in 2017, and so I'm in my second term right now and really enjoy the work that we get to do. There's a lot of challenges right now in Snohomish County that we'll talk about, but I think there's a lot of great opportunity as well, and we have so many great partner organizations throughout the county, whether it's cities or schools or businesses, nonprofits, and other community organizations who are just doing phenomenal work. And so I just feel so blessed to be able to live here. And as was mentioned, my wife and I live in Arlington. We're both born and raised in Marysville, and we're right now raising our 3 young kids. We have a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So we're playing the zone defense at home and having a good time with that. So there's 2 main responsibilities for the legislative branch of county government. Just like your city council or the state legislature or in Congress, as the legislative branch, our 2 primary functions are to adopt the annual budget and to create and pass new laws for the county. And so starting off here with the budget, Snohomish County has an annual budget of about $1.2 billion. So the way our budget process works is our county executive works in the spring with departments to put together a proposed budget, and then he delivers that proposal to the county council in September of each year. And then we take about a couple of months to deliberate on that, make some changes, and ultimately we'll adopt a budget just before Thanksgiving, and that budget goes into effect for the following year. And so I'll talk a little bit about our budget. You can see on the pie chart here, this is an example of an average property tax bill. So if you think about every dollar you pay in property taxes, this would be how that dollar is broken up. And you can see there are several different taxing authorities, whether it's schools, fire districts, the county and cities, hospital districts, ports, libraries. There's a whole host of different taxing authorities that make up every piece of the pie for the property tax pie. You can see the county portion there is about 6 cents on the dollar. So what that means is for every dollar you pay in property taxes, 6 cents of that are coming to county government, and then you can see how the rest of it is distributed. And this is important, I think, because as we all know, our property tax bill comes from the county treasurer, and so sometimes people can look at that and think, wow, look at how much is going to Snohomish County. And it is significant. We've seen big increases in property taxes, but that's collected for all these different taxing authorities and then distributed. And so a portion of that comes to Snohomish County. And we've worked hard over the past few years to minimize property tax increases at the county level, which I think is really important given some of the economic situations that we've been facing. So just a couple of highlights from this. We have a general fund that's about $300 million, $323 million, and that's more of our discretionary spending at the county. That goes to fund things like public safety and other discretionary items. But we provide a whole host of other services, whether it's county parks, county roads, our human services department, our court system, our elections. Now, some of those services are specific to unincorporated county residents. For example, our sheriff's office. So cities have their own police departments. Our sheriff's office serves unincorporated county residents. But then we also have services that go to residents whether you live in a city or an unincorporated county. And examples of that would be like our auditor's office, which oversees county elections, or our superior court system. There we go. So just some highlights from our most recent budget, the 2023 budget, which was passed last November. So this is really a public safety focused budget. A few highlights here I'll go through. One was we funded a new contract for our Deputy Sheriff's Association. One of the things we were finding as a county, and I know several cities and counties throughout the state have found this, but it's become increasingly difficult to recruit and retain quality law enforcement officers to come and work. And so we found that as a county, we were pretty far behind other comparable jurisdictions in terms of what we pay. And so we were able to negotiate a new contract, and that was funded in our budget to increase our ability to recruit and maintain good officers. We also added body-worn cameras, so now every Snohomish County Sheriff deputy has a body-worn camera. This was a pretty widely popular proposal amongst the public and also amongst law enforcement, so we're proud to be able to do that. One that's been pretty recent here was a new judge in the Cascade District Court. So the city of Arlington decided to contract with the county for services at the Cascade Court, which was great, but what that did was add a lot of cases to the Cascade District Court. And so with all those cases, we were seeing a little bit of a backlog, and so we were able to add a new judicial officer to that court. The way that worked is we had to approve it as a county, but then the state legislature also had to approve it. And so we had a bill run in Olympia that Senator Lovick sponsored, and that was actually the first bill that was signed into law by the governor following this session. And so we're excited to get that new district court judge appointed shortly. And then perhaps the highest profile budget item was the 4 FTEs for the county prosecutor's office. And we'll talk about this more a little bit later in the presentation. But, you know, one of the things that happened with COVID was with some of the shutdowns and the courts being shut down, we saw a significant backlog in our superior and our district courts. And what that means is that now coming out of that, our prosecutor's office is, of course, prioritizing the highest level crimes, the murders, the rapes, the really high level crimes. But as a result, some of those lower level of crimes, the petty offenses, if you will, the vehicle prowls and those sorts of things are slipping through the cracks, unfortunately. And none of us want to see that. We want to make sure that there's accountability there. And, a car prowl or a break-in might not seem like a huge deal if you're looking at the big picture and all the other crimes. But if you're the one who's been the victim of that, it's a huge deal to you. And so I think it's important we take that seriously. So we added some FTEs in the prosecutor's office to really target prolific offenders for some of those lower-level crimes and make sure those are getting addressed as well. We also appropriated some federal grant dollars toward our embedded social worker program with the Sheriff's Office and Neighborhoods Unit, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. So this is a really cool tool if you're a budget geek like I am. I really love looking at this as an online budget dashboard that was put online about 3 or 4 years ago on the county council's website. And what it does is it allows you to go online and see how basically every cent of your property tax dollars and sales tax and federal grant funds are spent at the county. So you can see by a department level and a program level how those dollars are being spent. And you can also look on the revenue side. You know, how much of our revenue comes from property taxes versus sales taxes versus state and federal grants and other funding sources. And so if you're interested in that kind of thing, I would really encourage you to check that out and would love to hear any feedback that you might have on that. Just one other note on the budget I'll add is we're moving as a county toward a biennial budget. So I mentioned earlier, right now we do our budget annually. I would say most jurisdictions are doing biennial budgets, and so we made the decision to shift toward biennial. We'll start that not this coming year, but next year. And we're excited about the opportunity that will bring for some more long-term planning and some more efficiency in our budget process, and we look forward to that. So talking about some investments in North Snohomish County, I won't go through each of these, but I'll just pick out a couple of here. One is, the Marysville School of Sports. So J.J. Frank, I saw him here earlier, and he really led the effort on this along with Dr. Robbins from the Marysville School District and Bill Sukalis from the Boys and Girls Clubs. As many of you know, the Marysville School District doesn't have sports this year for middle school students, and so we were able to put a group together to fund some alternative programming through the YMCA and the Boys and Girls Club, which was really great to see. Some improvements at the Marysville Historical Museum. Big thanks to Peter for his efforts on that. And then some broadband grant opportunities that I'll talk about in a couple slides here. Park investments, one of the ones I'm really excited about that I think we've talked about here at the Chamber before is Strawberry Fields Partnership. So the county put $1 million toward this project. There was also a significant portion of funding put in by the city of Marysville and by Amazon, who's recently located in the area. And so what this will do is convert one of those fields from grass to turf. If you drive by there on 152nd, you'll see that construction underway. And then it also will have improvements for the off-leash dog park that exists there, and then a brand new playground will be installed there. So it kind of hits several areas, your athletes, your families, dog owners, and so we're really excited about that project. Kayak Point day use renovation is a significant investment, $3 million. That was supposed to have been completed last summer, but there were some issues with the Army Corps of Engineers, and so that's been rescheduled to this year, and we look forward to having that completed soon as that park gets a lot of use. And then the SR 530 Slide Memorial. This is a really important project. I had the opportunity to go up to Oso just a few weeks back for the 9-year anniversary of the slide. And those families have been putting just a ton of effort into raising funds and going out and soliciting state and federal dollars to put together a real high-quality memorial at the site. And so the county was able to pitch in some funds that we've received from the federal government to kind of complete that project. And we're excited to announce that that's going to be fully completed for the 10-year memorial next year. So getting into some transportation projects, there's been a couple state transportation packages in the last decade or so. The first was from 2015, and that's what you'll see on the screen here, the Connecting Washington package. And this had about $160 million of investment coming directly to North Snohomish County, which is really significant. And so I'll just highlight a couple of projects here. One is up in Arlington. So I live at the top of 172nd Street. How many people have driven 172nd Street here? Yeah, so you know all about the traffic there. And the city's worked really hard and the state legislators to get this project funded to widen 172nd from 2 to 4 lanes all the way down to 67th Avenue where the railroad tracks are. And so that'll be great for traffic congestion relief. And then 2 brand new interchanges in Marysville, the first at SR 529, which should be happening shortly, along with that new HOV lane between Everett and Marysville. And then the second is that 156th Street project, which currently is just a bridge, but will have a full-fledged interchange in the next several years. And that one's really critical because you've got the Cascade Industrial Center with all the job and manufacturing growth that's been happening in North Marysville and South Arlington. One part that's contributing to a lot of the traffic on 172nd Street. But with this brand new interchange, the hope is that's going to alleviate some of that traffic congestion and help with some of the business growth we're seeing in that area. On the right-hand side here, you'll see the newer transportation package. This was passed, not this most recent session, but the one before. It's a $17 billion package that was adopted by the state. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see some examples of county roads projects. Just a couple I'll highlight there. The first is 67th Avenue. So between Arlington and Marysville, what we were finding as a county is that that was a high-risk area for traffic accidents. no shoulders and high speeds. So I think it was 50 miles an hour. And so what the county did is we reduced the speed from 50 to 40 miles an hour following a traffic study. And then I think at 2 different locations, there's now 3-way stops on on 67th. And so hopefully that'll help with traffic safety. And then a similar situation is 84th. So if you're driving out in the Getchell area from Marysville to Granite Falls, it's a similar road with no shoulders and high speeds. And so that's the next area that's going to be studied here. So I touched on broadband a little bit earlier, but this is something that's really been highlighted by the pandemic, is the need for reliable, quality internet access. You know, when COVID happened and students were learning from home, a lot of adults were working from home, and then you had all sorts of things like telemedicine and everything happening from home. And that works great if you've got reliable internet access. But if you think about students or adults who live out in Darrington, or even as close as like the unincorporated Stanwood area, we have significant patches throughout the county and throughout the state of areas that either have no internet access or they have really unreliable internet access, which makes it really difficult in today's modern society. And so what we saw as a result of the pandemic was just a ton of state and federal dollars coming down for the purpose of building out fiber and high-speed internet infrastructure throughout the country. And so as a county, what we did was we pulled together a team. I worked with Executive Summers and Councilmember Lowe to pull together a team called the Broadband Action Team. And this includes several stakeholders, school districts, libraries, the PUD, really anybody who has a stake in improving internet access throughout the county. And that group has been working together with the main goal of going after some of these state and federal dollars and seeing how we can bring some of those dollars back home for local projects here to be built out in our community. And so one of the really exciting projects is the SR 530 broadband improvement project, which is going from Arlington to Darrington and including the town of Darrington along the SR 530 corridor. We put in a grant proposal along with Ziply Fiber to build out this project, and we ended up ranking #1 in the entire state, which is really exciting. And so we received a grant award of about $16.7 million from the State Department of Commerce, and then Ziply Fiber also had some separate money, about $10 million, to complete that project. And so we're excited to see that get built out, high-speed fiber all along SR 530 to serve some of the residents there. And right now we've got about 5 more project applications into the state for grant dollars, and we look forward to hopefully getting some of those awards shortly. So commercial air service at Payne Field, this is one of my favorite things happening in Snohomish County. How many of you have flown out of Payne Field? Most of us have, and what do you think? All right, good. That's what I like to hear. I've had the same experience. I really love flying out of Payne Field. I try to do it as much as I can when I do travel. It's so much more convenient from the passenger side, not only getting to skip the traffic down to SeaTac, and now SeaTac you get there and you have to sit in like an hour plus TSA line half the time. So Payne Field's great because you get there and within 5 minutes you're through security and you're waiting to get on your flight. It's really convenient. And part of the reason for that, this is unique in Washington State and I think in the entire country as an airport, and that it's operated through a public-private partnership. So Snohomish County owns the land at Payne Field, but we lease the airport operations to a private provider, Propeller, and they brought in over $40 million of private investment to build this beautiful airport, this facility that's won lots of statewide and national awards for recognition. And so it's just a great opportunity for passenger service in the county. But in addition to passenger service, one of the things that we found is how much business growth and jobs that we're seeing come to our area that, whether they're relocating from other states or even internationally. I've talked with businesses who have said, we may never even have heard of Snohomish County if you didn't have an airport. And so this has really put us on the map for good job growth and business growth in our area, and opened up just a whole new window of economic development opportunities that we hadn't had previously. And with that in mind, just highlight a couple of businesses in the Cascade Industrial Center. So as I mentioned, this is the North Marysville, South Arlington area, 4,000 acres of manufacturing industrial land that the cities have worked really hard on setting aside. And so it's really cool to now see the fruit of all that work from the cities and the state and the county and some of the businesses that are coming here and some of the jobs that are being created, good family wage jobs. So a couple examples, had the chance several months ago to go and see Eviation in Arlington. Eviation is building the world's first fully electric commuter aircraft. So they call it Alice, the model, and it's already, I think they've sold hundreds of millions of dollars worth of product, and so that's really exciting to see that happening right here in Arlington. It's already had its test flight, and so some great work happening there. And then just recently I had the chance with some folks at the city of Marysville to tour Gravitics, which is coming to Marysville, and they're building private space stations. So that's really exciting to see. And when we were on that tour, we got to see one of these space stations, or a model of one. And as you can imagine, it's gigantic. It's a huge space station, and it's shaped just like a UFO. And so I asked, there's no way you can transport these things by road. So I was asking them, obviously they ship by port to whoever buys these space stations and wants to launch them out into space. But how do you get them to the port? And the gentleman said, well, we have a helicopter that'll come in to Marysville, pick it up from our facility, and then we'll transport it to the ship at the port, and then it'll be delivered. So if you see a UFO flying over Marysville, just know there's a helicopter there, they're taking it, and this is what it is. But it's really cool to see this sort of thing happening in Marysville. So the Regional Apprenticeship Pathways Program is something that's near and dear to my heart. This is something that I work pretty closely on with our local school districts and labor organizations. I saw Scott Peterson here earlier from the pipe trades. He worked very closely on this and continues to be involved. And a lot of our local businesses have been really great supporters of this program. Essentially what it is it's bringing the trades back into the high school. So how many of you, when you were in high school, had the chance to take a shop class? By show of hands. So most of you did. Well, when I was in high school, I didn't have that. We didn't have shop classes that were offered. And I think part of that is sort of a national K-12 push toward four-year university for students, which there's nothing wrong with four-year university. That's the route I took. I think it's really valuable for several professions. But one of the things I think is just so important is that we offer our students as many post-secondary career pathways as possible, whether that's four-year university, community college, the trades, the military, entrepreneurship, going right into the workforce. I think our kids, when they're going through high school, should have as many opportunities as possible to achieve success following high school. And so with that in mind, we built a coalition to essentially say, how can we bring the trades back into the high school and get students this training, this hands-on training, so that they can go into successful careers following high school that pay well and have good benefits and all those good things we look for in careers. And so we put together the RAP program, the Regional Apprenticeship Pathways Program, took it to the state legislature, and they agreed to fund it. And what it did is it brought the training back into the high school. It's hosted at Marysville-Pilchuck High School, but it's open to students county-wide. So any student in Snohomish County that is with a school district with an MOU agreement can participate in the program. And right now it has 50 students per year that are going through this program, juniors and seniors that are getting to work with their hands, earn high school credit. And when they graduate, they get their high school diploma. They get a college credential that's been designed specifically for the program by Everett Community College. And then perhaps the most important part for the next step is they get preferred or direct entry into a state-certified apprenticeship program. So they get to go right into an apprenticeship following high school and then on a pathway to a successful career. Some really cool recent updates on this program. So the current capacity is 50. We're going to be expanding that to 75 and even beyond as a result of the state legislature's recent action. So Mike Sells was a big champion of this originally when he was in the State House and getting this funded. But he has retired from the legislature, and so now we went to Senator June Robinson, who represents the Marysville area, with a request for this, and she really hit a home run with it. We asked for $1.5 million per biennium for the 2-year cycle to keep this running, and we ended up getting $2 million for the biennium. So it's pretty cool to go with an ask and get even more that you asked for to be able to grow the program and serve more students. The legislature also passed a regional apprenticeship bill that had broad support to model this program statewide and bring it to other areas of the state. So we had a House Education Committee come to the RAP program in Marysville, talk with the students, see all the great things that were happening, and they were so excited about it. They put this bill together, and now this is going to be happening throughout the state. And so it's just really cool to see how this organic work from different community stakeholders has resulted in something really innovative happening in Washington State. So coffee stand regulations, I'm not sure if anybody heard about this. This would have been six to 8 months ago, I think. But I started receiving pretty frantic calls from some of our local coffee stand owners because the State Department of Health did a WAC change, a Washington Administrative Code change, that basically was requiring them to install indoor plumbing. So if you think about like your brick and mortar coffee store, like a Starbucks, obviously they have their indoor plumbing. But these coffee stands that you'd see in like a parking lot, for example, they don't have plumbing. They have agreements. They're required to have agreements with local businesses so that their employees can use the restroom and they dump their gray water at those local businesses. But you can imagine the cost, $30,000, $40,000 of having to install full plumbing into these sorts of coffee stands. And so all these owners were calling me saying, either we're going to have to just shut down entirely or try to sell to somebody else before this goes into effect. And so kudos to them. They all worked together, put together a petition, an online petition that got over 1,000 signatures, and they sent that into the State Department of Health, and shortly thereafter the state reversed that rule change. So that was a big win for these local businesses and for all coffee drinkers in the area. So housing affordability, there's a lot happening on housing affordability at the state level. As we've all seen in our community and really throughout the Puget Sound region, housing prices are skyrocketing. And so while a lot of this policy happens at the state, we want to make sure we're doing what we can at the local level to try to address this as much as we can. And so I won't go through each of these, but one I'll pick out is the accessory dwelling unit ordinance. One of the things we've done as a county through a couple of different pieces of legislation is increase the flexibility for people to be able to build accessory dwelling units, or they're more commonly referred to as mother-in-law apartments. So this would be if you have a single-family house and you want to add on either an attached or a detached unit that could be used for, if there's an elderly relative that you'd like to be able to live close to home but have the privacy of their own unit, or maybe a student that just graduated from college but can't afford their first mortgage. And so these have become really popular, and we're really excited to be able to increase the flexibility for folks to be able to build these in unincorporated Snohomish County, and then a couple other pieces that have happened here. More recently, we had a home ownership panel series where we invited experts, whether that's planning staff members from throughout the county, industry representatives, elected officials, to talk about what we can do at the local level and what's working in other jurisdictions, other cities, other counties, and how can we model that here in Snohomish County to try to tackle this important issue. So homelessness and addiction is one of the issues that I hear maybe the most about as a county council member. And so I'll talk just about some of the things that we've done over the last several years and then get to some more recent activity on this. When I first started on the county council in 2017, the county, the Human Services Department, and our sheriff's office worked together with the city of Arlington and Marysville to implement what's called the Law Enforcement Embedded Social Worker Program. And we've talked about this at the chamber before, so most of you are probably familiar with the program, but it pairs social workers with police officers who go out into encampments and work to encourage folks to get services and get them connected. And then obviously for those who are committing crimes and refusing services and have outstanding warrants, then those individuals are arrested and prosecuted. So we saw some really great success early on with this program, particularly in the northern part of the county. Hundreds of people successfully went through treatment, graduated from treatment. And it was really cool to hear some of the success stories of individuals who, at first refused the treatment, ended up getting booked into jail, and then realized that, their best option was going to be taking on treatment. And then, whether it was the city or the county, worked with them to get them into a spot, got them through the program. And now some of these folks are back reunited with their families, gainfully employed, and productive members of society. And so every time I hear one of those success stories from somebody who's been through this program, it's just really cool and to see how this is positively impacting people's lives. On treatment centers, we had a couple county investments recently on this. One is the diversion center at the county. This is open 24/7, and it's a resource for these embedded social worker teams or others who find an individual who's in need of help. As you can imagine, if you're struggling with an addiction and you decide that you want help, we've got a very short window to get those people placed before their mind changes sometimes. And so having a center that's open 24/7 to get those folks connected with services is really critical. The Carnegie Resource Center is something else which was open fairly recently. And then most recent was the conversion of a significant portion of the Denny Juvenile Justice Center into two 16-bed treatment facilities. And so we continue to try to expand as a county the beds that we have available. And we've also had some great private sector partners and nonprofit partners. So Holman Recovery Center is one example. I saw Edmund in the crowd earlier. He's doing great work. This is in Smoky Point here, which is serving local residents. And so I'm really excited to see the success of programs like that. Recently, it was pretty high profile, so some of us may have heard of it, but the States Blake decision, which was a state Supreme Court decision about a year or two ago, came down and essentially decriminalized hard drugs throughout the state. So meth, heroin, fentanyl, all decriminalized. And the legislature at the state level subsequently did not take action on it. And so there's a statute right now which is going to sunset on July 1st, a bill that went through, failed to pass. And so right now the status quo will be all drugs will be legal in Washington State July 1st, including things like fentanyl, which we're seeing record overdoses throughout the area. I saw an article fairly recently from King County that their coroner is having a difficult time finding room to place all the bodies from how many overdoses are happening in King County. So this is just really tragic to see all this happening throughout our state. And I think it's critical. I'm disappointed that the legislature wasn't able to find an agreement on this. And now that responsibility really falls to local government until the legislature decides to take action. And so we're working hard at the county level, and I know several cities are, to take meaningful action on this. I've introduced an ordinance at the county to outlaw drugs effective July 1st when the state law sunsets. But, part of that is, and this is, I think, a lot of the controversy with this, is some people think, well, we just want to throw everybody who's struggling in jail. And other people think, well, you just want to give everyone a free pass. And I think neither of those is true. There seems to be broad consensus, whether it's law enforcement or social service providers, that what we need is to get these folks into treatment. When we put everyone in jail, it's a very short-term solution. It's a very costly solution. And they end up getting out of jail and typically going right back to it, and it's just a vicious cycle. And so when we can get people through a treatment program and graduated from that and then back into a healthy and sustainable lifestyle where they're reconnected with a job and with their families, that's the long-term solution. But of course, we have to have some accountability built in, because if we look, to our south, to some jurisdictions that have no accountability measures, you can see in places like Seattle that homelessness increases, drug abuse is rampant, crime increases. So we have to have the penalty of jail, or some sort of penalty, to really incentivize people to take treatment. When your options are go to treatment and improve my long-term health and life, or go to jail, it makes it a lot easier to choose treatment. And so that's kind of the tack that we're taking. And at the county level, in our ordinance, is specifically built in for the officers, if individuals are arrested for using, whether it's fentanyl or meth or heroin, whatever it is, that their first step should be to refer that person to treatment. And that's our ultimate goal. But we do want to make sure that we're holding people accountable. There's a lot of crime that's happening as a result of this. And so as a community, this is a big public safety issue, as well as an issue for the individuals who are struggling with this and want to get their lives back on track. So a little bit more on public safety. I think I've talked before about nuisance properties at the county. So we've seen sort of a rise in this in some of our rural areas of the county, where you have properties that whether the property owner's died or the bank maybe has taken a property, and the bank is a federal bank that isn't paying much attention. You have some of these properties that just get overrun with squatters, and there's illicit activity, junkyard conditions, environmental hazards. I had the chance a few years ago and visit the property in the picture here at Sylvana in Sylvana on Larson Road. And there was just junk everywhere. You couldn't even see the ground on the property. There was trash, feces, needles, all sorts of things. And so it was a real blight to the surrounding neighborhood. And so we worked very closely with the neighborhood, and we brought together a team from our health department, from code enforcement, and our sheriff's office to say, how can we work with property owners to get the places like this cleaned up? And so we enacted a nuisance code at the county. And you can see this is not quite a before and after picture, but like a before and middle picture. You can see it got cleaned up. Now, if you were to go out to that property, you'll see a beautiful reconstructed house that I think is on the market for $750,000. And so it's really cool to see an example of how a blight like this was able to get turned around through a partnership with the county and local community members. If you know of nuisance properties like this or others throughout the area in unincorporated county, please reach out. We have a really dedicated code enforcement team that's committed to working with property owners and others to get these sorts of things cleaned up. And then the last thing I'll touch on in public safety is staffing. So I mentioned earlier in our budget, we prioritized a new deputy sheriff's contract because of some staffing issues. And we're seeing this statewide. I think every city and every county would tell you that they're having trouble hiring and retaining quality police officers. And that's for several reasons, whether it's recent state legislation or a whole host of others. But we really want to make sure in Snohomish County, with increasing crime rates and some of the things that are happening, that we take care of this, that we make sure that we're prioritizing community safety, prioritizing hiring and retaining good quality police officers. And that's something I think as a community we can all do. In Marysville here and in Snohomish County, I think we're a really pro-public safety community. And so the more we can encourage that and encourage our state laws to reflect that would be really helpful, I think, in this situation we're facing of a lot of officers leaving the state or retiring early or finding new careers altogether. And so anyway, I hope we'll be able to make improvements as a state there. Certainly we're working as a county to take measures that we can to be able to hire and retain police officers. The last thing I'll end on before taking questions is civil discourse. So this is one of the things that's really important to me. At the county level, we're required to run as under partisan labels. So I run as a Republican. We have other council members who are Democrats. But if you think about the work that's done at the local level, like your city councils or others, it's by and large nonpartisan work. A former colleague of mine used to say, potholes don't have parties, right? And at county government, we're doing things like filling potholes, citing parks, approving budgets. The vast majority of the things we do are nonpartisan. And so I think with all of the toxicity that we see at the national level from both sides and increasingly at the state level, one of the things that I found as a former teacher is it's a big turnoff for a lot of our youth that are coming up and are not real excited to engage with politics or government. So I've had the opportunity to partner with a Democratic colleague of mine, Councilmember Mead, from the southern part of the county. And we've been invited by several high schools throughout the county and colleges and other Rotary clubs and others to come and speak about the importance of civility and treating others you disagree with respect, even if you disagree, obviously, and there can be really tense disagreements. But just being able to talk through those things and really set a model for our youth who are coming up to say, you should get engaged with government and with politics, and it can be in a positive way. And I've had the chance during my time on the council to just get to meet so many great community leaders throughout Snohomish County and elsewhere who put their community first and their hearts in a place of wanting to serve their community. So I think the more we can demonstrate that to our youth, that, if you turn on the national news, you don't see a pretty picture, but, that's not the way that things need to be. And so I think that's really important. We also had the chance earlier this year to host the first annual Civic Engagement Day at the county, Civic Education Day at the county. And we invited school districts from throughout the county to come learn more about county government and opportunities to get involved. And we were thrilled. We had over 200 students come out for that annual event and learn more about county government. That was exciting. The last thing I'll mention, a partnership with Braver Angels, which is a national nonprofit organization focused on civility and working across the aisle. Councilmember Mead and I have been partnering with them on a series of community town halls. So essentially what we've been invited to do in these high school classrooms, we thought, well, why don't we do this for the broader community and listen to others and get feedback on kind of the causes of polarization in our communities and what we can do together to overcome and address those issues. So we had the first event in Mill Creek a few months ago, and I saw some folks who were in the room here at that event, and that went really well. Our next event is going to be in May in Arlington at the Boys and Girls Club, and so would love for any of you who are interested to come out to that. You can email me. I have some cards at the table, and then at the end of my presentation, there's the contact info as well. So would love to hear from you if you're interested in coming. And that concludes my presentation. The thing I'll end on here is, before I get to questions, I try really hard at the County Council to have an open door policy. So if you ever have any concerns at all or questions or ideas for things we can be doing to improve, please feel free to give me a call anytime or email, and I'd love to meet with you or chat with you on things that we can be doing. So thank you all for your time and attention this morning, and happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Well, this is where we ask, do you have any questions? Just raise your hand. I know I've got a question I'd like to start off with. So you talk about the difficulty in hiring police officers, retaining police officers. I know many people that work for the county, the state, et cetera. It's a state issue, I think, but has the county addressed the need to drop COVID vaccine requirements, or any talk about that at all? Can you address that?
Yeah, sure, good question. So the county did not have in place any sort of vaccination requirement for our law enforcement. So that was not an issue at the county level. I think the state had that, so maybe with the state patrol that may have been an issue, but that was never a requirement for the county. Good question.
Thank you. First of all, Nate, that was an amazing amount of information, very well presented this early in the morning. I'm amazed.
Well,
I actually have a little bit more of a comment than a question, but on your trade schools, I'm a product of 45 years of culinary arts and hospitality. Went to trade school through high school, and it's been very good. So if anyone has any questions of the benefits of the trade schools, I'd be happy to answer them for them, but thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
I have one more for you, Councilmember. So a lot of people I talk to are really surprised to see their property tax lower this year. How did that come about? What's going on with that?
So in the city of Marysville, you may have seen a lower property tax, and that's So your property taxes are a year delayed. That's the way it works with the county assessor's office. When they go out and assess your property value, it's a year behind. And so in Marysville, that'll be a reflection of the failed levy. Now that the levy has passed, I think that'll change the following year. But if you live in Marysville, you're probably one of the only places that's seen a decrease in property taxes recently.
Well, thank you, Councilmember
Yep.
Nehring. Did a great job. I
Thank you all.
didn't even
Appreciate
see him look at a script, so, man, you were impressive. Give him a round of applause. Thank you. Okay. All right. Well, it's so great to be back and see everybody this morning again. I'm gonna go up here real fast because what I want you to do is get your business cards handy because we're going to start into the 5-minute table networking. Yvonne, does this table networking have anything to do with the candy on the tables? Okay, if the candy helps, you know what to do with it. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. Each member, by the way, so somebody start. Each member gets 60 seconds, and then I'll make an obnoxious noise, and then that'll go to the next person, okay? Go. Okay, I'm going to stop you. That's all you get. Finish eating that candy. Okay, if I could have your attention, please. I'm gonna invite people to come down here and speak. So this is going to be to introduce the new members since the last breakfast meeting. Would representatives from First Response Heating and Air Solutions, Big Bounce Bros, Bridgeways, Edward Jones, Josh Helpenstell, Guaranteed Rate, and Simon Diaz Photography. Come on down. So you're each going to get 1 minute-ish. But go ahead and stand right here and take it away.
All right. Good morning. My name's Nairobi. I'm the installation coordinator for First Response Heating and Air. The owner, Braxton, couldn't be here. He lives in Bremerton, so I'm here representing the company. This is my first time ever speaking in front of this many people, so I'm sorry if I'm a little nervous. But we're a small, really small, family-owned HVAC business based in Lake Stevens. We have technicians all over. We service Skagit counties down to Kitsap counties, heaters, air conditioners, ventilation, and in addition to that, we also do, affordable service repairs, modern controls, any mechanical jobs such as ducting, gas piping, etc. So, with the hot summers coming up, try to keep us in mind. We're really small. We only have about 5 technicians, so a really small business, but we take a lot of pride in what we do. So,
great. Thank you very much. Do you guys do lawnmowers? Hey, good. We're looking forward to seeing you back. Come on, Josh.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name's Josh Helpenstell. You might notice that I've got a similar colored name tag to Lance here. There's a couple of us, Lance, myself, and Taylor Aiken over in the back corner there, all with Edward Jones. So we're financial advisors with Edward Jones. I was just talking to my table over here. We have, I want to say, about 9 advisors in Marysville now. It seems like a lot, but we're only a very small fraction, about 12.5% of a market share within the town. We really focus on the holistic approach to financial planning. Really not only getting your money invested appropriately for your retirement or your kid's education goal, but we also look at the other side of, do you have the proper insurance in place? Do you have proper life, long-term care, disability coverage, so that no matter what happens in life, whether it goes according to our plan perfectly, like it always does for most of us, I bet, or whether or not something happens to someone in our family or ourselves, our business, and our family will be taken care of no matter what. So that's what we do. I'll let Lance take it back here. Thank you.
You did great. Hey, where are you located?
So my office is right across the freeway here next to the Hagens. I've got an open office there right now. Taylor, I believe, opened up his office here recently down by the Verizon downtown. So, yeah, we're continuing to grow. Thanks.
Awesome. Good. Yep. We're just trying to keep up with the number of Starbucks. I think we're beating them right now.
Hi, my name is Edgar. I'm the owner-operator of Big Bounce Bros. We're a family-owned party rental company specializing in inflatables like bounce houses, giant water slides, obstacle courses. We also have chairs, tables, and looking to get into tents in the coming years. We started last June, and it's been pretty amazing. Get to bring fun to all sorts of parties, events, school carnivals, even corporate get-togethers. Yeah, hope to meet many of you and keep growing.
All right. Hey, how can people get a hold of you?
Literally just Google us. Google a bounce house, and we'll be the only ones in Marysville. Yeah, Big Bounce Bros. On the Chamber website. There you go. Just started last week, so hope to meet everyone.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Yep. Always welcome to come to any event. You bet. Come on over. There you go. Good job.
Hi, my name is Simon Diaz. I'm a photographer. We just recently opened a studio here in Marysville in Grove Street and State Avenue. We went from the garage 300 square feet to 2,500 square feet, so it's a big jump. We specialize in portraits, branding, and headshots, so if anybody wants to update their headshot or something like that, we are running a special with 20% for the members of the chamber. Our business is more like an experience, not just a typical photo shoot, so we have a team of makeup artists, hairstylists, posing coaches, model, and everything, so come see us up. I want to give my card to everybody, so.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks very much. Got to come all the way over.
Got to come all the way over. Good job. I'm Lynn Dahlmeyer. I am the CFO of Bridgeways, and we've been in Everett. We're a nonprofit. We're in Everett, but we just opened a clubhouse in Marysville. We do supported employment and supported housing for adults with mental illness. We also have a therapeutic health court program in Marysville, in Everett, and in Tulalip. We have a homeless outreach program, and then we also have a manufacturing department that works out of Everett, and we our biggest contracts are with Boeing and Delta Flight Products. So we're expanding where we are in up north in Snohomish County, but we serve all of Snohomish County.
Okay, I got to ask you then. All right, so I got to ask you, if you could summarize in one quick sentence, what do you do? What does your company do?
What does our company do? We facilitate growth and independence for adults with mental illness.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to have you. Good job. Kim.
Good morning, Lance. How are you doing this morning?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. So I'm Kim Thompson, VP of Mortgage Lending at Guaranteed Rate, and I'm a new member of the Chamber. I've been in Snohomish County since 1995, doing mortgages since 2005, but Guaranteed Rate is where I now hang my hat. And we help people build wealth through real estate. And so if you have home financing needs, whether it's the agency products, conventional, VA, USDA, FHA, renovation, we have reverse, we have home equity lines, we have personal loans. We lend in all 50 states. So if you have any home financing needs, we'd be happy to help you. We're at Guaranteed Rate. You're guaranteed great service and a great rate. Thank you.
Great to see you back, Kim. Hey, Kim's so wonderful. She not only does mortgages, she also helps you find your credit card when you leave it at Costco gas stations. She's just amazing. Thanks, Kim. All right, you all did great. Nice job. Thank you, everybody. This is where I put my glasses back on. Okay, now we've got showcase tables. So all of these tables, holy smokes, last time I was here, I think there were only 4. And they've been booked out for over 2 weeks, right, Dave? So these are pretty neat. So not only do you get to put up this great display and hand out lots of candy and cool stuff, pens, but you also get a full minute up here on the microphone so you can introduce your product, your company, what promotions you've got going on. So I'd like representatives from the showcase tables, and I don't know how much they cost, so I'll let Yvonne talk more about that, I suppose, at the end. Oh, it's on there. It's on here. I'm supposed to look at this. Cost is $30. So contact the chamber office if you'd like a table for the upcoming Breakfast Before Hours events. There's 3 tables left for May. There you go. So would representatives from each of these wonderful tables come on over here, and you get a full minute on the mic, stand in the light, let's go.
Thank you. I won't take a full minute because I'm from Skagit Regional Health, so you already heard from us. At our table, we have more information on Dr. Valinga if you guys are interested in that. We also have these cool little first aid kits that fit perfectly in your car or your purse. So come grab one of those. The very fun topic I want to point out is that we have these direct access cards. The American Cancer Society has recently reduced the first age that you should be getting a colonoscopy to 45. Super fun to talk about right after breakfast, I know. But to that end, we have a program. It's a direct access to GI. You do not need a referral from your primary care provider. You can just call this one number and we'll get everything scheduled for you. So we have make it so easy and make it as enjoyable as possible. So come grab as many cards for you or your loved ones as you need, and we'll be right over here.
Yeah. Do we need a testimony? No, okay, all right. You did a great job. Thank you. Nice job. Thank you.
I'm Teresa. I am the outreach lead at the Grove Church. Many of you have heard of us in our 8 million different things we do to love the community. But the big one I want to focus on today is iHeart. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a 4-day community impact event. Last year we did 6,000 man-hours in 4 days. We did projects all over Marysville, Tulalip, Arlington, Lake Stevens, and Everett. This year we are going to add Granite Falls to our list. And we do everything from this last year we pressure washed both Getchell High School and MP. We did some beautification in Tulalip. We built wheelchair ramps. Everything we do is free to the entities that we help. We always work with Marysville Parks and Rec and Lake Stevens Parks and Rec. This year we're doing 19 projects. We're hoping for about 500 volunteers a day, and we feed them and take care of their kiddos when they're working. And we put on free block parties every single day for the community. So we are looking for volunteers, always, and of course sponsorships. So there's some more information over there, along with information about free tutoring, our community dinners, and all the other things that we do. It doesn't matter your religion, it doesn't matter your sex, it doesn't matter, any of it. We would love to have you be part of it. So come see me. I'm over there next to Skagit Valley.
Nice job. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I am Jessica Shaw, your favorite disability advocate from Sherwood Community Services. First off, I want to say thank you so much to the Marysville Chamber members who participated, donated, attended our gala on April 1st. It was the first time we were here at Tulalip. Tulalip was amazing. First in-person event in 3 years, first big event in 8, and we raised over $100,000 to support adults and children with disabilities. So congratulations. Thank you. Second, who loves Sean O'Donnell's? Okay, perfect. I will see you all on May 10th. Both the Skagit location and the Everett location, we have our next Purchase with a Purpose event between 5 and 7 p.m. Join us for dinner, and a portion of your proceeds will come back to support children and adults with disabilities. And lastly, we are hiring. So if you know anybody who is looking for some work, come and see me over at the Green Sherwood table. I would love to meet you. Thank you for believing in abilities.
All right. Good job. Thank you. Here it is. There's the spot.
Right here?
Nice job.
That's
Yes,
it.
Yep.
Hello, thank you. I am Tina Hudon with Remax Elite, your hometown team, your local realtor here in Snohomish County. And I wanted to just chat a little minute about what you're hearing and seeing online and in the news currently about the housing market and what is happening. Everybody keeps hearing that the prices are going down, everything is dropping, everything is crazy out there. So I wanted to share with you some statistics from March, and this is from the Northwest MLS. And, oops, I got to put my glasses on. Just to give you a little bit of what's happening in Snohomish County, in Marysville, the median home price in March of 2022 was $699. In 2023 in March, it's $699,000. So the price is basically holding the same right here in the backyard. And condo prices in 2022, $415, and in 2023, it went up to $462. So in Lake Stevens and Arlington in March of 2022, the median home price is $800,000, and in March of 2023, it's $904. So as you can see, our prices are continuing to go up, even with the interest rates where they are. In condos in 2022, it was $535, and in 2023, it's $585. So we would like to invite you, if you know of anybody that might be entering the market, that's interested in finding out or learning about what is happening, reach out to your local realtor, your local lender. Ask them the questions. We are in the market day in and day out, working it. And so instead of listening to what's on the news, come to us and ask us questions, because we'd all love to help you. I know there's many of us out there that would love to, sit down and clear everything up. We are doing a home buyer workshop class, Kim and I, on March 10th. May 10th, thank you. I'm on the March dates here. May 10th in Snohomish at our RE/MAX office, and we'd love for you to invite your friends. If you know of anybody that is wanting to enter the market, don't know where to start or how to get going, to come to our class and learn kind of what's happening and how we can help them get started in the home buying process. Thank you so much, Tina Hudon, RE/MAX Elite, your hometown team.
Hey, Tina, good job. Are you on also?
I have a table also, so yes, I'm back. Kim Thompson, Guaranteed Rate, and yes, we will be doing a home buyer course. I have a little story to share. I had a gentleman this week who is closing on his house today. He is a veteran. It is a first-time home buyer, and he was listening to all the stories out there last year, and he kind of backed away. But this year, he decided, all right, let's see what we need to do. He came and talked to me, and he is closing on his first home. And so don't listen to the hype that you're hearing on the radio. Please come talk to your experts that can tell you what's going on in your area, what programs that we can use to help you to get in, because if you can buy a home and you can stop paying rent, you can start building wealth, and it can become a generational thing to make a change for your family for many decades to come. Kim Thompson with Guaranteed Rate.
Good job. Thank you. Come on over, Vance. We have the same name, almost.
Almost. Good morning. My name is Vance Titus. I'm a business mentor with the SCORE organization. SCORE is the management consulting arm of the Small Business Administration. We work with entrepreneurs who are setting up their own businesses, exploring business opportunities, and establishing their business for the first time. We also work with existing businesses to help resolve whatever the issue may be at any given time. One of the things that has always I've found very interesting when I work with existing businesses, quite frequently I'm told, hey, you don't know anything about my business. Unless it's in the engineering and construction industry, they're absolutely correct. There are a lot of businesses that I know absolutely nothing about, but that's one of the real benefits of the SCORE organization. We have 10,000 SCORE mentors throughout the nation, and whatever the business is that we are working with, we can reach out and find somebody that has the direct hands-on experience from that business. Let me give you a quick example of that. someone reached out to me because one of his clients wanted to start an engineering company. When I talked to the gentleman, he's an oceanographic engineer. I know absolutely nothing about oceanographic engineering. He's in Massachusetts and was looking at a project business opportunity in California. I reached out, I found an oceanographic engineer in Massachusetts who could help him evaluate the project opportunity that he was looking at. I then turned to California and found an oceanographic engineer in San Diego who had started 3 different oceanographic engineering businesses over the course of his career to help the gentleman understand the new business startup opportunities in California. That's one of the real benefits of our organization, being able to marry the resources of SCORE mentors with the clients that we're working with. Please, anybody that is looking for a new opportunity in business or has issues within their existing business, please get a hold of us. We have SCORE mentors. We have 80 SCORE mentors in the greater Seattle area. We have 20 up here in Snohomish County. We work out of the Chamber's office for mentoring opportunities. The most frequently used opportunities are our one-on-one mentoring, and I'd love to talk with you.
Okay, well, hold on, Vance. All right, so there's some assumptions going on here. One assumption is Vance believes you know how much it costs. Another assumption is you believe it costs $1,000 an hour, right? Vance, how much does that cost for a business owner, maybe somebody that's looking into a business, or somebody that runs a company? Hey, I need help, or I can't see around all those corners. Who can I reach out for some third-party, independent, truly objective advice? And how much is it going to cost me?
0.
I'm sorry, what?
0.
Okay, there you go. So we've got him. People from Massachusetts reach out to this guy. We've got him right here. I'm not telling you, I can't emphasize enough how good of a resource Vance is, like for everybody here. So there you go, a plug for Vance. Good job, Vance. Thanks for what you do. I'll be enthusiastic. Give me a chance.
Good morning. I looked at the forecast for today. It's going to be 77 degrees, which means you are all thinking exactly what I do. 4-day fireplace. Oh, wait. We do service, so if you've got an existing one and want a summer special, we take care of those existing things. But we also do outdoor living spaces, so if you really want to take advantage of that backyard space and spend more than just the summer outdoor enjoying your family, come talk to us. We've been around Marysville for quite a while, a chamber member for a long time. We are known for doing complete fireplace makeovers in 4 days or less. How many of you guys in the audience over the last 3 years being stuck in home have done some sort of home renovation? How many of you feel like you kind of missed the boat on that one? At 4-Day Fireplace, we will completely change the most lived-in room in your house in 4 days for a fraction of the cost of a kitchen or bath remodel. So if you'd like to spend more time with your family or kick them out of the room and have some me time, come see us. We can completely change your space. We have financing options for all sorts of projects. You can upgrade and put a new fireplace or insert into your house for as little as $150 a month. So if any of that sounds intriguing while it's 77 degrees outside, beat the rush, because we are already booking some projects into September and October of this year. So don't get caught in the cold when winter does come. Come see us today.
Very good. Thank you. Right on. When he said most lived-in room, he wasn't talking about the kitchen or the bathroom. I think that was... All right. Good job.
Well, I had no idea that this was comedy hour, because I think we've done more laughing this morning than we've done probably all week. My name is Lori, and I am speaking to you from Hospice of the Northwest Foundation. And with me is Talon, and he is actually from Hospice. Now, I'd like to see hands go up if you know about Hospice of the Northwest. That is fantastic. a lot of times people don't know about hospice until hospice becomes part of their family. And one of the things that Talon and I are going to tell you is that, did you know, people tell us, I had better days when I had hospice taking care of me than all the days for the last couple years. I had better memories. I had better connections with my family. I felt better about where I was and what I was doing. Well, the foundation raises money for uncompensated care, integrative therapies, medical equipment, training, and then we also take care of the caregivers. So that's a little bit about what the foundation does. But more importantly, I'd like to give the microphone over to Talon, because he came here this morning to share with you what hospice does. And he has had several roles in hospice over the last couple of years. So here's Talon.
Over the last 20 years, yeah. So I am with Hospice of the Northwest, and we provide healthcare services for people with a life-limiting illness. We come to their home and provide care, and home can be wherever they live, facility, trailer park. I've had a patient under a bridge. We go where they live. We want them to have the best care that they can have. And when Laura was talking about what some people have said, I had a patient recently who, when talking about hospice, said that hospice gave her life back. And I thought that really hits it on the head. People don't understand a lot of times what hospice really is. So as part of our community effort, we are a not-for-profit, and we really care about the communities we serve, which are Snohomish, Skagit, Island, and San Juan counties. So we do a lot of public education for free, where we come and provide different kinds of topics, such as right now we're really pushing advanced care planning. Does everyone here have a durable power of attorney for healthcare? Yeah, let's see. We need more. So it's really important to have your advanced care planning done, have your powers of attorney figured out, getting a pulsed form, which we talk about in the training if you have a serious illness. So please reach out. We're happy to come speak to groups, different communities. I'm getting out there more and more into the public to try to branch out and provide more of these trainings. I'm also Spanish speaker, so we're focusing a lot on trying to improve our outreach to the Latino communities, as well as many others. Diversity, equity, inclusivity is a big part of what we do as well.
Good job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Here it is. Wrap it up.
All right. Good morning. I am Jim Bedoin, the Executive Director for the Marysville Community Food Bank, and I think this is just about a year that I've been a member of the Chamber as well. And I wanted to come tell you a little bit about what we've been doing. So we've been taking care of those neighbors in need that need help with hunger relief. And unfortunately, the first 3 months of this year was an 11% increase in people served over the same 3 months last year. And things have gone up and been more expensive. So all of those challenges, we are still able to do it with the wonderful support of lots of the folks in this room. And I'm going to take a minute and say thank you to the Tulalip Charitable Foundation for their continued support and everything. We truly appreciate that. We appreciate the partnership with the county through our Snohomish County Food Coalition. They did a big round of support for us in the last budget. We truly appreciate that. And the city of Marysville did an outstanding job of helping support our dairy initiative this year, making sure that every week there's milk, there's eggs, there's butter available for our clients. So thank you all for that. There's several other folks in here that do wonderful things with us, so thank you. Only get a minute. But we still need to raise more, and so we're doing our first annual fundraising breakfast on June 6th at the United Methodist Church. There's a little invitation at the table over here for you if you're interested in coming as an individual. There is no cost for the seat. We're going to ask you for money in the room, so bring your checkbook. If you are interested in sponsoring a table, I have some sponsorship opportunities. There's 20 tables. I've already booked out several of them. So if you're interested in that, please let me know as well. All right, so thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Well, everybody did really good this morning. A lot to say, a lot to take in. We're going to skip the most popular part of the event, which is the open mic. And I'd like all those who are giving away door prizes, please go ahead and make your way over to the stage. I'm going to make it my way up to the podium. And whoever gets here first, just come on right up. Okay. Okay, only 10 seconds.
Hospice of the Northwest, serving Skagit, Snohomish, Island, and San Juan County, is the light for you in the dark.
Nice. I like that. Oh, yep, put your card in there. Uh-oh, it's right on the top. It's right on the top. Okay. Good job.
Jose.
Jose. There he is. There he is. Thank you very much. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you get to introduce. I'll hold it. You go
Okay.
ahead and tell me.
Good morning. I'm Felicia Kreider with Home Street Bank in Marysville. I'm the branch manager. I'm giving away 4 Aqua Sox tickets to any normal season game and a bunch of other little goodies. Teresa. Grove Church.
Woo. All right.
Hi, I'm Tanya with Evergreen Goodwill of Northwest Washington. I'm giving away 2 $20 Goodwill gift certificates.
Nice job. Nice job.
Scott Peterson, sprinkler filters.
There he is.
For
Oh,
one.
2. Okay.
And I get 10 more seconds at the top.
No.
And Tim Ade from UPS Store.
All right. Good job. Thank you. Oh, there we go. Good job. Thank you.
Nancy Denny from Modern Mortgage Orca, and our winner is. You got glasses
Oh boy.
on.
Okay. That's Vibrant USA. Can you turn it over? That would be Heidi Turner.
And it's a $30 gift card to Starbucks.
$30 gift card to Starbucks. Nice job. Thank you. Taylor.
Good morning. Your other local Edward Jones advisor, Taylor Aiken. I've got a $25 gift card to Spoon and Straw. You guys haven't been there? Right on 3rd Street. Incredible acai, excellent coffee. The owner she's pretty active in the community.
You know what my card feels like. Go ahead. It just feels just like yours. Same size, different picture.
Jessica Shaw.
Okay, my name is Megan Monterosa, and I'm from the Grove Church, but what I do is I run our Tuesday night community dinners over at the Marysville Historical Society. It's called The Neighborhood. I'm inviting everyone to come. It is super fun. It is all about community and joy and togetherness at the table with amazing food. I have a $15 Starbucks card going to someone special. Let's see. Oh, Claudine Doherty with Link.
All right.
Perfect. Okay. Do I
That's
give
it?
it to her?
Okay, yep, you give that. You can hold on to it if you want to. Nice job. Thank you. I'll hold the mic.
Okay. Hey, I'm Karen. Hi, I'm Karen Weir, and I'm with Trauma Reboot, and I have a thermos and gift card to Shipwreck Coffee because just like Shipwreck, you don't have to stay sunk when you have trauma. So we're going to draw for this.
Very good.
What do we have here? Sam from Workforce, Snohomish.
Nice. Thank you. Nice job.
Hi there. My name is Claudine Doherty. I'm the new coalition coordinator with Link Northwest, and we're doing all kinds of great stuff. I'd like to invite you to an upcoming fair that we're having on May 6th. Check us out on our social media. I have a great Starbucks mug with a gift card. So let's see who this lucky winner is.
Yeah.
Joshua Happens.
Yeah, it doesn't look like him on the picture because there's no beard, but it is him. There he is. Thank you. Nice job.
Hello, Jessica Shaw again with Sherwood Community Services. I have one of our branded candles from Malicious Women Candle Company infused with acceptance and possibilities.
Yep.
Amy Johnson with Harmison.
Way to go. All right. Thank you. Good job.
My name's Eric, and I start fires in people's homes. In case you have an opportunity to enjoy that nice weather, I've got a nice bottle of rosé with an insulated wine glass, and some specialty pizza dough to mix up and have a nice event with your family.
Nice.
Let's bounce. Bounce bros. Edgar.
Thank you. Nice job, Eric.
Good morning. I work here at the fabulous Tulalip Resort Casino. Thank you for all being here. I just want to quickly mention we have our summer concert series lineup announced, and so there's little cards out on the table. Grab one and come to one of our concerts or shows. I am giving away a $100 gift card to my favorite restaurant, Blackfish.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, no, no,
I have lots
no.
of friends right
No,
now.
yes, no, 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 no. Yes,
I'm going
no.
Waft Bank, Carmen.
Wafed.
Sorry, I said that wrong.
Carmen, what? Good job.
You get to hold it. Okay, he's going to make sure he's going to grab the mic. So Kim Thompson with Guaranteed Rate. I'm going to use my time this morning. First, I want to remind you to save the date. It is for the Seroptimist Havana Nights auction that we're having in October, and we're doing it at the Indigo Hotel, whoop, whoop, in Everett. Thank you, Sharon, and also thank you to Tim 80 from UPS for doing the beautiful print job for us on that. So Kim Thompson, Guaranteed Rate, and the winner today of our beautiful plan, she'll be a hit at home, is Maria Mankoth with Goodwill.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Kim.
Alrighty. Yes, sir. John McEwen Financial. We specialize in alternative investments, and we're located in the heart of downtown North Lakewood across from the schools. I really wanted to announce our 10th annual shredding event on Saturday, July 29th from 9 till noon. Last year, we put 7,000 pounds of shreddables in an 8,000-pound truck, so pretty happy about that. So open to the public, mark the date. And thinking in advance about 5 minutes ago, I have $25 for somebody's breakfast. And the lucky winner is Felicia Kreider with Home Street Bank.
Thank you, John. Nice job. Okay, and I have a prize too. I'll just, Yvonne, go ahead.
So I have two coffee cups up there with the creamery and then some Chick-fil-A stuff. So, Lance, do you want to just pick two cards?
Yep.
Ashanda, is she still here?
Oh, you got to be here.
Okay. Sharon Humbert.
Sharon, all right, Sharon.
And Amy's not here.
Amy's not here? Uh-oh. Here's a good one.
John.
John McEwen. And I'm giving away a 150-watt car power inverter. You know it. You know it. Whoops. And this is for Karen Swift with Harmson. Good job, Karen. Is Karen here? There she is. No? Is Karen here? Okay. Okay. Yes, we've got identification. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, perfect. So just to wrap up, we have lots of upcoming events, a couple that I want to point out. We do have happy hour next Thursday at Hotel Indigo. If you haven't registered, make sure you register for that today. May 19th, Business Before Hours moves up a week. That's also B2B, more networking available. Something about planting seeds for your business. Don't quote me on that. The flyers are all out there. And then golf tournament is June 10th. We are still looking for teams. So if you want a team, it's the best golf tournament in the county at the best golf course with the best chamber. So come pick a team and then save the day, home for the holidays. Thank you to our sponsor today, Skagit Regional Health, to our volunteers and emissaries for all their great ideas and help. Thank you to Tulalip Resort Casino for their great service and delicious breakfast. And a big thank you to all for coming and being part of the greatest chamber in the county. Thank you all. Enjoy the sun. I will see you all soon.